So, what is anthropology? Well, we're going to dive into this incredible field that studies, well, pretty much everything that makes us human, from our most ancient ancestors to the little rituals we do every day without even thinking about it.
But to really get what anthropology is all about, let's start where a lot of anthropologists do, out in the field. And we'll begin with a true story about a student's first research trip that took a wild turn in the absolute best way.
So, picture this. Here's a student anthropologist, Katie Nelson. She shows up in this community, the Genipapo Canindé in Brazil, and she has this super clear academic plan. She's there to study how they manage land ownership. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Well, she thought so too.
And get this, almost the second she arrives, a community leader walks up to her and drops this bombshell. I mean, can you imagine? You've flown all this way, you have your notebooks and your plan, and on day one, someone tells you your entire reason for being there is just wrong.
And just like that one sentence totally ignites this huge debate among the community members right there in front of her. Some people were nodding along saying, yes, that's right, while others were passionately arguing, no, we are indigenous. Her whole project on land, poof, gone. The real story, the one staring her right in the face, was this incredibly complex, messy, and just fascinating conflict over who they were.
So this begs the question, right? What kind of science actually tries to make sense of all this stuff? What field dives headfirst into these messy, complicated, and deeply human questions?
Okay, so the word itself is pretty straightforward. It comes from the Greek anthropos, for human, and logi, for study of. So, the study of humanity. Simple enough. But its goal is unbelievably ambitious. To understand every single facet of the human experience, from our biology to our beliefs. I mean, how do you even begin to study all of humanity? Well, in the US, anthropologists have this kind of toolkit with 4 main approaches. Think of them as 4 different lenses to look at the same big, complicated picture of who we are.
First up is cultural anthropology. And this is exactly what our student Katie stumbled right into in Brazil. These folks don't just sit back and watch. No, they dive in, living in communities to understand the world from the inside out. They ask questions like, is something as basic as anger felt the same way everywhere? Or is it something we learn?
Next, you've got archaeology. And no, it's not always about dusty tombs. Some of the coolest archaeology happens in modern landfills. Seriously, there was this thing called the Garbage Project, where they studied people's trash, and what they found was wild. It showed this massive gap between what we say we do and what our garbage proves we actually do. Then there's biological anthropology. This is where we look at ourselves as, well, a species, our evolution, our DNA, and how we're connected to other primates. You've definitely heard of Jane Goodall, right? Her work with chimps was revolutionary because it totally blurred the lines we thought existed between us and them, making us question what it even means to be human.
And the last tool in the kit is linguistic anthropology. And this one might just blow your mind. It asks this huge question. Does the language you speak, the very grammar and vocabulary, actually change how you perceive reality itself?
Okay, so we've got these 4 fields. But the secret sauce, the thing that really makes anthropology isn't just what they study, it's how they do it. This is where it gets really good.
Yeah, way back in the day, you had what they called armchair anthropology, literally scholars in armchairs reading often super biased reports from missionaries and colonists, and then making these huge, sweeping judgments about entire cultures they'd never even met. Thank goodness the field moved to the complete opposite, participant observation. This is about showing up, living with people for months, sometimes years, learning the language, eating the food, and just being there to understand life from their perspective.
And this whole approach is built on one revolutionary idea. It's called cultural relativism, and it was championed by a guy named Franz Boas. And it is a game changer. It's this idea that you have to try and understand a culture on its own terms, not by using your own culture as some kind of yardstick for what's right or normal.
And this is the perfect antidote to something we all do, ethnocentrism. That's just a fancy word for that gut feeling that our way of doing things is the default, the correct way. Cultural relativism is like, okay, hit pause on that feeling. Let's try to see why they do it their way.
So you've got the toolkit, you've got the right mindset. What are you looking for? Well, anthropologists are on the hunt for something that's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. This powerful, invisible force called culture.
This quote just nails it. Culture is the air we breathe. It's everything, right? It's the shared beliefs, the unspoken rules, the way we see the world. But because it's always there, sustaining us, we don't even notice it. It's just life.
Okay, to really get this, let's try a little thought experiment. Let's put on our anthropologist hats. Back in the day, an anthropologist named Horace Minor wrote about this group, the Nasarima. And their rituals, they're pretty out there. They believe the body is fundamentally ugly and needs constant work. They perform these secret rites in a special shrine in their house. They even visit a holy mouth man who, frankly, tortures them with sharp tools.
So who are these people? I mean, really, take a second. Who are these folks with these bizarre, almost masochistic customs?
They call themselves the Nasarima.
And here is the brilliant twist. Nasarima is American spelled backward. Minor was writing about us, that household shrine, the bathroom, the charm box, your medicine cabinet, and that holy mouth man torturing you? Yeah, that's your dentist. By making our own world sound exotic, he made us finally see it. He revealed the invisible air we breathe.
Okay, so this is a cool party trick, right? But why does this actually matter? What's the point of learning to see the world like an anthropologist?
I think this quote from a student just sums it up perfectly. At its heart, anthropology is about wiping out ethnocentrism. Think about how many problems in the world, big and small, come from this toxic idea that some people are other, that they're weird or wrong just because they're different. Learning to think like an anthropologist isn't just academic, it's a critical life skill.
So we're going to leave you with a challenge, a final thought to chew on. Try to look at your own life with these new eyes. Think about one thing you do every single day that you think is completely normal. And now, try to describe it like an anthropologist talking about the Nasarima. What's one part of your life that, to an outsider, might seem absolutely, totally strange?